Hey everybody, I'm back with a new unboxing today of the new iPad. So this is the newest, I believe 6th generation of the iPad. Like this is the original iPad, so it's a 9.7 inch display. It's not the iPad Pro, it's not the 10.5 inch. So the big difference for this 6th generation iPad is that this is the first non-Pro iPad to support the Apple Pencil. So previously the Apple Pencil, which I use to sketch, I like it quite a bit. It's only compatible with iPad Pro, but this is the first non-Pro iPad to be able to use iPad Pencil. So which really begs the question, then what's the point of the iPad Pro line? Because you have the original iPad Pro that came out like 2 years ago was a pretty large device, like this one. I have it on me here, 12.5 inch display. And then Apple came out with an iPad Pro with a smaller screen, 10.5 inch, about half a year ago. That really similar in size to this one. So now they're releasing a 9.7 inch normal iPad that supports Apple Pencil. Then it's almost like, why do you still need the Pro name? But anyway, let me just get this unboxing out of the way. I'm not going to spend too much on this video because obviously it's not that exciting. This is a pretty standard iPad, but you know what? That's not meant as a diss because the iPad is the best tablet in the industry. And I say this, you know, if you know me, I'm not even an Apple guy. You know, I don't like to use the iPhone. And I'm always bashing Apple, actually. Apple fanboys get really mad at me. Like, if you check out my iPhone 10 hands-on video, man, I pissed off a lot of Apple fans because, you know, I criticize Apple in some ways. So, I'm not even an Apple fan. But the iPad is the best tablet in the business. Nothing else comes close. And on that end, there's not much to improve. It's just a little bit faster. A9 processor chip, supports Apple Pencil. That's it. So I'm gonna make this video short, hopefully. So pretty standard Apple packaging here. You have a plug. This is the plug that goes into Hong Kong and UK legs. If you're wondering, this is a little weird. I think only Hong Kong and England uses this. Everywhere else in the world use like the smaller tube plug or circular plugs. So you have a lightning cable. Right here you have papers and shit. So I demoed this already at the Apple office earlier. So yeah, other than Apple Pencil, the biggest addition is now the new software, iOS 11.3, which supports Apple's AR kit. So there are a lot of cool AR apps, but again, those apps can run on any iPad any iPad newer than 2015 and any iPhone newer than 6. So it's not exclusive to this at all. So that's it for the unboxing. It's a pretty bare bones unboxing. I have the cellular version, so that's why it has this black bar here. The device is a little bit smaller than the last generation iPad, 9.7 inch display, but these bezels here actually are thicker than on the iPad 10.5. That's the iPad Pro 10.5. So you see how confusing it is what Apple's doing. So you have this smaller 9.7 inch iPad. It's just an iPad, and then you have a 10.5 inch iPad Pro. It's a little bit bigger by like this much, and then you have a larger iPad Pro that's 12.5 inch. And then in the meantime, all three of them can use the Apple Pencil now. So why not just call all of them iPads and then just get rid of the Pro line? So anyway, I'll be back with hands-on. Hey guys, I'm back. So I'm gonna make this quick because there's not a lot to say really, as I mentioned. It's not a big upgrade at all. The only hardware addition to this new iPad is support for the Apple Pencil, which is awesome, but that's it. Everything else new to this iPad, this is the 6th generation 9.7 inch iPad, like such as the AR apps, you can run that on other iPads too. So that's not a diss though, because as I mentioned, iPad is just the best tablet out there, and the base model of this, which is 32 gigs with Wi-Fi connection only, starts at $329 US. So that's pretty good deal. If you're on a budget, you're looking for something under 400 bucks, that's it right there. Unless you want a Chinese tablet running Android, and those are fine if you're kind of like just using it to watch movies and stuff. But if you want to do a lot of stuff, app ecosystem, nothing beats an iPad from a tablet. And again, I'm not even an iPhone guy. But this review unit here, it's a cellular model with 128 gigs, and the price actually goes up to $560 $560, it's not cheap anymore, but it's not that expensive. It's still half the price of the iPad Pro that I've been using. So let me rip out the iPad Pro just to show you the size comparison. So this is the 12.5-inch iPad Pro compared to 9.7-inch iPad. So pretty big difference. So the display here, it's a 9.7-inch 2048 by 1536 resolution panel. It's an LCD panel. Apple calls this the Retina display. It's beautiful, it's vibrant, but it's not as good as the iPad Pro screen for a couple of reasons. One, it does not have the 120 Hertz refresh rate, so animation is noticeably not as smooth. And then also, it does not have True Tone display, which is Apple's gimmicky name for a display that adjusts temperature according to the ambient light. But still, this is still an awesome display that you can use outdoors, and viewing angle is excellent, and watching movies on this is great. There's only 2 speakers on this iPad 2 as opposed to the 4 speakers on the iPad Pro. So I'm gonna test the sound later. You know, I'm gonna bust out the K-pop, but I'll just say this right now. The speakers are not as good as the iPad Pro, but still pretty damn good for a tablet. So when Apple announced this iPad last week, it made a big deal. You know, it announced it inside high school because it made a big deal that this is for educational purpose. And when I visited Apple's office earlier, that's what they demoed this. This tablet can run a lot of cool AR apps such as Frogopedia, which lets you dissect a frog on an iPad. And man, it looked pretty damn real. Like, I was like getting a little bit queasy watching them slice open the frog with the Apple Pencil. So that's one thing. You can also run other apps like check out paintings and all that. And right here, as you can see, I'm gonna check out IKEA's app, and you can put digital furniture in your living room. So this is the AR kit that Apple developed is awesome. And I believe AR it's much more useful than VR. So AR, it's useful for education, and it's just more fun. VR is very gimmicky. VR is something that's fun for like half a day, and then after that you just get a headache and your eye hurts. It's not useful. So in terms of performance, this iPad runs on an A10 processor, which is not as powerful as the A10X found on the iPad Pro and the iPad Pro 10.5-inch. You see how I'm just getting so confused by all these damn names because Apple's iPad line, it's too damn redundant. Apple, if you're watching this, just simplify your shit. Just go with an iPad Pro, like the 12.5-inch one, a big one, and then everything else is call an iPad and just make them like 10 inches, that's it. So anyway, A10 chipset here, not as powerful as the A10X, but you know, just if you're using this for social media, watching movies and jumping on Facebook and all that, you're not going to notice the difference. It's definitely fast, definitely snappy. Battery life, Apple claims about 10 hours. I got about 9 hours in my day of use so far. I've only tested it for 1 day, but I would say about 9 hours, which is not bad at all, considering how thin this device is and it's light. It weighs about 1 pound, 478 grams for you non-Americans, and for everybody else in America, about 1 pound, like 1.05. So the camera on the back, it's an 8 megapixel shooter. On the front, it's a 1.2 megapixel selfie camera. So 1.2 megapixel, it's not that good for a selfie camera, but you don't want to be those people that use an iPad to take selfies anyways. That look ridiculous. Please don't do it. So it's more important that the back camera, it's decent, and it is. I'm not the type that would use an iPad to take photos, but I thought this is passable. Definitely, you know, can't compare to any of my flagship phones, but this camera is not bad at all for a tablet. So the best reason to get this is if you already have an Apple Pencil or you want to buy an Apple Pencil, which unfortunately costs around $100. But this is definitely the best stylus on the market. I was using it to sketch, to draw. It's just awesome that this stylus can detect pressure and tilt and all of that. So, you know, you can be able to, if you go light, the strokes are light, you can go harder, you see darker strokes, and then you can also shade. So that's pretty cool. And palm rejection works perfectly, like perfect. Palm rejection is amazing. Every other tablet I've used that comes with a stylus, such as all these Windows tablets I've tested, none of them work as well as this. So if you're an artist, if you like to draw, if you like to take notes on a tablet, then there really is no option. This is it. So I think if you buy the baseline $329 US plus the Apple Pencil, that adds up to about $429. That's worth it if that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna draw on a tablet. So these are some sketches I did. I'm not a good artist, but it's just fun to be able to jot around and play around with it. The Apple Pencil is awesome. Alright, so we'll test out the sound right now. So again, only sound coming from the bottom. I mean, to my right, there's only 2 speakers instead of 4 on the iPad Pro. But the speaker's good, man. So this is about 60% volume right now. So this is max volume. So you know, the sound is not that flat. You actually hear a little bit of depth in the sound. Not quite as full as an iPad Pro, but definitely one of the best tablet speakers around, if not the best, other than the iPad Pro. So that's about it for now. I mean, there's not much more to talk about. iPad's pretty boring, to be honest. Definitely not as fun as testing a phone, but you know, if you need to get work done, if you need to get school stuff done, this is perfect. Personally, I would like to use the Pro because it supports the keyboard. This iPad does not support the smart keyboard, but you can get a Bluetooth keyboard and probably get the same thing done if you need. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.